So today we'll talk about the files concept. What is a file? File is all about collection of data which is stored on a permanent storage device. Printing data, for printing usually the data onto this console, we use a method called print. And for reading the data from the standard input device, that is keyboard, we use a method called input. But if we are dealing with files, then first we need to create a file object using a function called open, where the syntax of the open function is, so open is a function which is associated with two parameters or arguments called file name and mode. So file name indicates the name of the file, mode indicates the opening file mode, which can be either R, W or A, where R stands for read, W stands for write, and A stands for append. An example of using this open function is f equal to open sample.txt. Okay. So the return type of this open function is a file object. So if we just print the file object, you can see that we got a text wrapper object being created where the name of it is sample.txt and the mode of is R mode. Okay, so in order to perform another second operation on the file after you create it, that is a read, then we use invoke a method of using file object dot read to read the content of the file. So if I assume that sample.txt is having these 3 lines of text, and if we open the file in a read mode and invoke a method called read and we run this, so you'll get these 3 lines of text from the file being printed. You can also read the file using line by line using a method called read line. That is actually a file object method. So file object dot read line. So for this, we just open the file in a read mode and invoked file dot read line. So if we run this, we'll be getting the first line of the method. If I invoke again, we will be getting the second line of the method. If at all, if I add one more line here and I'll say print f dot read line, then I'll be reading the third line of the file. Okay, so if we know that how many lines is there in the text, then we can use a loop and we can repeatedly call this method called readline to print all the lines of content of the file. Okay, so we have seen an open function for creating opening of file, and the return type of this open function is a file object. That we have used a read method for reading the content of a file. Then the other methods which are used are write, tell, close, and there are parameters associated with the file object, that is name, which will tell you the name of the file. Okay, so if we open a file, after you open the file, and if you want to print the name of the file, then you invoke this attribute called f.name. So you will be getting sample.txt. And if I want to know the position of the file after I open, then I use f.tell, which will be 0, since I opened the file in a R mode. If I open the file in an append mode, the file pointer will be at the last of your files. Then at that moment, the file pointer will be at the last location. So if we can just want to know that, can open in an append mode. If we run this and if we run the tell method, it will give me the last position. Next, the other operations which are there in the file is a write operation. So in order to perform the write operation, what we will do is we'll just invoke an input method and a read of text to be appended. So for this, what we will do is we open the file in an append mode. So we open the same sample.txt in the append mode. And f dot write, give the text which you want to append, so s. After you append, you close the file, again open the file in a read mode, same sample.txt, read mode, and just print the content of f dot read, the whole content of the file. After which again you can just close the file f dot close. So if I just run this, it is asking me to add the text to be appended. So I'll be say end of the course. So you can see this course is easy, and at the last the end of the course is being appended. You can observe it in the text also here. Just refresh this file. You can see the line called end of the course has been appended at the end of the file. So this is how you can perform all the different operations, that is read, write,